Dear friends of the SAREP project, my name is Elke Haase and I'm the owner of the Piccoplant biotechnology group on plant propagation. Please excuse very much that I can't come in person, but I promise to do it in the future. What I would like to show you is the kind of plant propagation that we do work with. So the main center of our propagation unit is the tissue culture, the biotechnological propagation of plant material. The advantages to do so are the production of contamination and free plant material, virus-free plant material, and in general elite material that you want to be propagated. Normally you would work with seed as it is used with other crops, but if you want to grow desert trees, it would be advantageous to propagate the elite trees of your own origin. We call it autochthonous plant material. That's what we do in our area. We are mainly working on woody plants, and we sell the young plantlets in multi-trays, or we do as well sell the know-how of propagation exclusively. So in the past we did work on biomass plants like Populus for Scandinavia. We are working on big crop plants like potatoes and the elimination of viral contamination. We are producing rose hips, which are going into food production. You name it, whatever is interesting for ecology and economy, we propagate it. I would very much like to show you now the laboratory to transfer and show the advantages and the possibilities of micropropagation. I just have two examples to show before we are entering the laboratory. For example, this is acacia. It's an acacia. We have 4 different varieties from the Arabian countries and prosopis as well. And these are being propagated in big numbers. And before we bring them into the greenhouse, they get the right microbiome to have bacteria that support them in root production and maybe additional nitrogen fixation. So this would be a kind of ecology plant. I call it ecology plant. A cash crop plant would be the date palm production. That is one of our present main areas. We are now having approximately 6 different varieties. The best one is Medjool, and we propagate them. But this is a slow propagation. These plants grow much bigger. And the big advantage of growing plants in test tubes is that you have a high multiplication rate, let's say doubling, tripling, or 5-fold multiplication per month. So you do very fast go into exponential plant growth. And then you do the hardening and produce a young plant that can be put outside. Yeah, so I would very much like to show you a little bit about our laboratory, how we work and how it does look like. So please follow me. So here we are entering the laboratory part. Just to give you an idea, we have the capacity of 5 million plants for local production and demand. The idea of micropropagation is to have an elite material mother plant, take tissue out of it, transfer into tissue culture, that's a sterile environment, and as soon as you have done the multiplication, you do transfer them to the greenhouse and give it to the clients. The clients can as well buy in vitro material out of the test tube or they can buy larger plants, whatever the demand is. Please follow me to the laboratory. So here we are, the center of propagation, and this is called growth room. We have a constant temperature, we have a 16 hours light and 8 hours night, and in this room we are doing mainly the research. A third and a second growth room are for hardening and mass multiplication. So I would like to show you the different acacias which we propagate. One of my favorites because they look very much like a grown-up plant. And the other ones, I have to use my glasses. This is mulberry. Mulberry has become very popular in Germany for the fruit production, and I know they can be grown in the North African countries as well. So this is a berry, and you would not only have the CO2 fixation of the tree, but additional income by a very, very I like it, a delightful fruit. Out of that we have 6 different varieties. So red ones, white ones, black ones, big ones. So we always try to have a broad genetic background, not to propagate just one clone, but a big diversity with different offspring. So these are our figs. Figs have become very popular in Germany, growing in Germany, and we have about 30 different varieties, starting with Desert King up to those which are extremely winter hardy in Northern Europe, so we can produce fruits. And this is how ficus looks like. The big advantage of producing figs is that you can eliminate the viral contamination, and you produce plants which are free of any illnesses. Not resistant, but clean and healthy. So these are different ficus varieties, mainly Ficus carica. So then we have, they all look the same. It's as well Ficus carica. Ficus carica, same again. And here we have the potatoes. Potatoes are a big, huge market. We do have varieties which need a license, but as well heat-resistant varieties for Northern African countries. So that's very interesting. We do the propagation, we make DNA fingerprint to prove that they are true to type, and we have the we can look that it is not contaminated with viruses. So we eliminate them from the meristems and then build up the production. After the step of production in vitro, it is being followed by mass propagation by doing cuttings, because this plant is still very expensive and you always want to lower the cost. So what else? Now we are approaching my favorite babies, the date palms. So if you look for them, date palm production is very important to have, again, healthy offspring material, rapid propagation, because normally you can only propagate by offsprings and it really takes a long time. So in biotechnology the plant still is pretty slow, slower than the other products we have, but very important if you compare it to the classical propagation. So yeah, these were the most important plants. To give you an idea, a room like this has about 500,000 plantlets, which you can, in theory, double every month. So building up a unity to produce 20 million young plants is very good possible. So here in the background, there are other potatoes already grown up. We mainly work for breeders, so we make exclusive propagation for the breeders, and some varieties are free on the market. So, potatoes, that's all potatoes. So this is very nice. We are producing as well different berry plants like vaccinium, blueberry, Kamchatka berry. We are having roses, but this is not for ornamental purpose, but the roses are for rosehip production, which goes into medicinal application. And we have as well other medicinal plants to be propagated. So my idea is to show you the possibilities of biotechnology and transfer this know-how to Mauritania to propagate plants very effectively, exactly the plants that you need for your local purpose. First of all, native plants, later on maybe interesting fruit plants, and in the very beginning we would do the hedging with acacia and desert bamboo. So we have the idea to deliver the starting material, transfer the know-how to Mauritania, and establish the production as you need it in a combination of high-tech biotechnology, classical production of cuttings, and the addition of seed plantations. To give you an idea about the product that is coming out of the lab, I will show you the greenhouse and the shade net area. Please follow again. So this is part of our acclimation and greenhouse production, just to give you an idea how the potatoes look like. These are being delivered in multi-trays, and here we have good root induction and micro tubers which are given to the client. This is an example of fresh and very young populus. These are in special forestry trays, so they can deeply go into the soil for better root induction and water availability. This is very interesting. And we do as well propagate Populus euphraticus, which is very often used for desert greening. And here we have a cash crop again. It's ficus, Ficus carica, a winter hardy variety. And this would be the next size. It's a 7 centimeter pot ready for the plantation. It could be grown in a shade net area and be used for fruit production. Another idea about the acacias can be seen here. We always grow a little bit of plants to bigger sizes just to have a feeling for what they need and what the client needs. In general, we wouldn't go to a size like this. We are producers of young plants. But this is to show you how the plant is developing and how it will go on in the growth. Once again, acacia for soil recovery. So this is one of our greenhouses for producing the young plantlets, which we later sell in multi-trays. I just show you a little bit. This is how the plant would look like. And the whole tray, can't get it out. It's really difficult. Now I got it. So this is a tray with 140 plants ready for planting outside. And that is the product we are mainly delivering. Thank you very much. We are very interested in any collaboration with you, and it would be very nice to establish the technology in Mauritania and do as well some training of employees in Germany. Thank you and good luck.